This game is rated M for mature. Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta 2. In the last episode, we confronted the ruler of Inferno, Alrone.
You're thinking, shut up and take my halos.
Hey, there's one of the shop quotes that I was hoping to see, Futurama reference. But we confronted Alrone, defeated her quite handily. Got a sweet weapon out of the deal, and rescued John in the process. Clearly, the thing that we were there for. We also escaped Inferno. Tried to take Loki with us, but then some things happened, and we don't know exactly where we are right now. So we'll have to find that out once we start the next chapter. For now, we are done with the witch hearts. So the next thing for us to kind of go after in the shop are the moon pearls. So buying one of these will extend your magic meter by 1. And every time that you buy one, the price will go up by 10,000, except for maybe one of them is like a 20,000 increase, and I don't have enough halos. So we'll be working on those next. I don't think we should have any trouble getting the rest of those by the end of the game without having to do any additional grinding. So we'll have to see how much halos we have left by the end to actually buy other things.
I know where this is. I know when this is.
Oh, that's such a douche time traveler thing to say. Alright, so if you've played the first game, you should recognize this area. And if not, the game will kind of tell you where and when we are pretty soon. So for now, we are going to head down these stairs. Don't know why the game gave me health there when I couldn't possibly have taken damage at this point, but just roll with it. So yes, for anyone who hasn't played the first game, you probably should, check that out before you watch this. But this is Vigrid, so this is the area from the first game where Bayonetta was running around and, destroying things and being stylish while doing it. But like in the first game, actually, there is a broken witch heart up on this balcony. So if you jump up here from the sides, you'll need to double jump and then do a wall jump in order to get up. There's a broken witch heart there. There is a Gates of Hell entrance here, just like there was actually in the first game. So there's a chest at the end of this hallway, and once you open it up and get the treasure that's inside, which is a broken witch heart, that will trigger a verse. So since we are in the area that the first game took place in, we're also seeing some enemies from the first game. So these are kind of your standard mooks from the first game, infinities.
So close.
So we will have more things to deal with here. There we go. But I suppose this will give me an opportunity to talk about why I really like Alrune, and that's because it is a great weapon for kind of crowd control and dealing damage to a lot of enemies. If you're kind of surrounded by a bunch of enemies. So is that the last of the fight here? I hope it is, because my combo dropped. Alright, yeah, game's saving, so it definitely was. But that's why I like it. And I think it complements Rakshasa really well in terms of, you have good range and kind of area coverage. And you get some pretty decent damage out of them, too. So once you have done that, we can move on. So there is a note right out here in the Fountain Square. This is Shadows on Vigrid. And yeah, see, for whatever reason, the game didn't give me the prompt there to just jump straight into the menu and look at it, which I find a little bit strange, but still plan on reading it. The witches are gone from this universe. They were said to have been killed off one by one during the malicious witch hunts that once spread through Europe. At least, that's what's written in the books. The real truth is a little more complicated. The mass slaughter known as the witch hunts of Vigrid was, in truth, a war of mythical proportions. The Lumen Sage responsible for the war launched a conflict that expanded beyond just humanity, reaching into Inferno and Paradiso as well. The Angels' offensive was so overpowering that the Umbra were completely wiped out, but in the aftermath, this destructive fate also met the Lumen, and both clans were wiped from history. As I researched the Umbra and Lumen, who are considered the overseers of history, I learned that what we see with our eyes and hear with our ears isn't always the truth I thought it to be. An Umbra witch who survived the witch hunts of the past, what sort of monumental secrets are locked away in her destiny? They unfold even now in the unending cycle of life and death. Crazy to think that something that could decide the fate of the universe is taking place in Noaton at this very instant. At least, that's what my instinct's telling me is happening. I'll use this prized nose of mine to sniff out whatever is actually going on. Okay, so, before you walk into the middle of the courtyard here, actually, there is a crow, which I somehow failed to grab there. That is in the same exact location as another crow from the first game, so more callbacks. There is also a Muspelheim portal in this little gazebo here on the left side of the courtyard, so you should be able to do this Muspelheim portal after the next upcoming verses, but you know, I just prefer to do it beforehand. And technically, it is verse 2, so this is the canonical order. So you have to defeat this applaud here in the time limit. So the thing you have to watch out for with this is, did my combo drop? My combo might have dropped. But it's not really that threatening of an enemy, but it will try to kind of shake off your attacks and do its own attacks, and that can actually prevent you from doing Wicked Weaves and getting in combo multipliers and big damage. So if anything, that's probably the thing you need to watch out for the most in that fight, is just making sure that you're actually dealing enough damage so that you don't run out of time. Now that we have done that, though, it's safe to run into the courtyard and trigger this cutscene.
We will be overrun soon. Gather at the clock tower. We must defend it with all our strength. You?
So, for anyone wondering who that is Rosa, and she is Bayonetta's mother. That's kind of why they recognized each other. We have ourselves another burst here, and we're actually fighting with Rosa, so, you know, make sure that you stay active enough so that, you know, Rosa doesn't, you know, steal all your combo points and kill all the enemies for you. Yeah, took a little bit of damage there. I feel like using an Umbran Climax. Oh, dang it. Oh, well. Burst was almost over, so that's not too big of a deal. Yeah, it was fine, except for taking that one hit. But I feel like using an Umbran Climax on those decorations there, you know, the really small enemies that don't have a lot of health at all, is probably a waste. Yeah. Well, not the best start to this. So we're fighting off against Fortitudo here. So this is, you know, the first kind of major boss in Bayonetta 1. And of course, you know, same music in Labors and Dangers coming back from that. So with this fight, they're mostly going to have the head lunges when they're at that range. There's also kind of the sweeping talon attack. And there's that, which I don't think I saw it do the last time, so, you know, a lot of this moveset is kind of similar from its fight in the first game. It's a bit simplified, considering you don't have the same kind of arena that you fought in from that game, so I can definitely appreciate that. I think it makes the fight a little bit nicer and more tolerable. So eventually, once you get its health down low enough, it will kind of come onto the stage and land. So for this attack, there's going to be kind of magma coming up from the ground periodically, and you have to make sure that you're not standing on it whenever it... Ow. Dang it. Alright, so once you get its health down to 0, unfortunately, it doesn't kind of go into this, like, climax portion right away for whatever reason. So you can still get hit after you've lowered its health to 0, which I think is a little stupid, but that's just kind of how it is. So, did all right on that. I definitely could have done a lot better on damage, but not much I can do about that now. So, there's a chest off to the left here. If you want to get that, it has a bunch of concoction ingredients. It's not really out of the way, so no reason not to get that. Have ourselves a short little verse here with a couple of affinities and an applaud. Yeah, with the weapons that you have at this point, you know, these guys should be pretty easy. So, yeah, it was actually a little bit slow, according to the game there, but other than that, pretty good. Alright. So again, this is another mechanic that was in the first game a lot, but didn't really come back for this game, which was those witch doors. And for those, all you have to do is just hit them enough until they get out of the way. The important thing to note about them is that they are one way, so once you go past them, you won't be able to go back through them, so that's just the thing to be aware of. Of course, you know, we can't go through the first stage or the first chapter of that game verbatim, because that'd be too boring. So we're actually going to go a little different way here. Right behind this witch door here is a chest. Has a big red lollipop in it. There's also a note, where darkness falls. Similar to the secret underground passageways you'd expect to find behind bookshelves in old looming mansions, Vigrid was full of rooms with secret pathways and training rooms the Umbra used. I found that out a while back when I was researching the Umbra. Later, I learned my old man had stumbled upon the same thing. Anyway, as witches draw their strength from the darkness, they would set up facilities that allowed them to train indoors while it was light outside. It could be that they hated the sunlight, or maybe it was a measure they took to keep their secret arts as far from the public eye as possible. Most of these hidden passageways were forgotten after the witch hunts. Time passed and the city developed. Most of the inhabitants would never think there could be some secret path in the very house they live in. When you think about it, maybe they're happier not knowing. So we're gonna have some more enemies from the first game. This chapter and kind of the next one is primarily going to have Bayonetta 1 enemies in it. So got another applaud there. It is a different variant than the other one, so it does have some different attacks to it. So just kind of be aware of that. We have some. Ah, dang it! My combo dropped. So these are, well, actually, I think we just have a Fearless in this one. So it's just, blue kind of wolf-like enemy. So I'm probably not going to do great on the combo score there since it did drop in the middle. Yeah, I just barely missed out on that, which is unfortunate. So, speaking of callbacks to the first game, so these statues here, the Umbra Witch and Lumen Sage statues in the first game, if you dodge the lightning strike from these statues, it would allow you to activate Witch Time and cross obstacles that you would normally be unable to cross otherwise. Okay, so the red one right here is the fairness, so it's kind of the other part of the pair. So yeah, just make sure that you don't lose one of them and only kind of zero in on one or the other. I mean, I would recommend that you try to take one out first, so that you don't have as many to deal with. So, it's fewer attacks. But just try to make sure that you keep your combo going. Obviously, don't get hit, and you should be good. Before you move on, there is a room over here to the right that has a chest and a whole bunch of other goodies and some pots. So you can see just how good Alruna is in that situation. So open that if you like. Again, it's not really that far off the beaten path, so it doesn't really cost you all that much time to open it. So for now, we can move on. Take these stairs down to the next area. And we're going to have a section here with a Beloved, which is kind of a mini-boss from the first game. And this section, you have to be kind of careful because, obviously you can get hurt here, and it's not always 100% clear which hits, or which movements will hit you and which ones won't. So probably best to play it safe and just dodge if you think you're gonna get hit. Yeah, there's not too much of a combo score to get on that one. So okay, so we have a section here with a lot of lava. See, so I hope you like lava. First things first, though, there's a chest over here, so pretty easy to get this one. And actually, I think we're at a decent place to end off this episode. So in the next episode, we will be dealing with all this lava. But for now, thank you for watching. I've been redxparasite, signing out.